Hello. Hello.
That's Caden. This is Samara. And we're going to talk about yesterday and just the whole thing, everything from yesterday and life period since they've had their little brief existence on this planet. Say hi, everybody.
Hello.
What's your name?
Sam.
What's your name?
Caden.
All right. This is Erica's daughter, my not biological daughter, stepdaughter, but she's my baby. I don't like the step thing. That's my baby. This is my son and Erica's stepson, but we don't like the step. It's just they're my babies. So, a big issue that we're faced with today is the issue of how people feel about the police. And you guys were asking, like, when we were talking on Russo's channel, Truth I Set You Free, we were talking about what happened with yesterday with the police, with me and stopping and all of that. And you guys asked, why were the kids scared or why were they afraid when I was telling you about Samara? So I figured, why not let them come on and say why they were scared or what they felt. So we'll start with Mara, ladies first. That cool with you? You want to start with Caden first? Okay. Caden. Yesterday when we were driving, what did you feel?
Nervous and scared.
Nervous and scared? Why?
Because all the stuff with the police, and I have not encountered the police out here, so when we stopped, and there was a lot of them too, so when we stopped and Dad walked over there, kind of got me scared. And then I saw the police walking up to Dad, so it just added on to it.
Where do you think that came from? Like the fear that you had?
The media.
It came from the media. What part of that? Let me know what you mean.
When they're talking about how bad the cops are and be careful because the cops are willing to kill a black person because they're black, or just, everything. That's the media is talking about the police right now.
So how okay with you, growing up, grew up in the hood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You grew up in the same neighborhood I grew up in, which is crazy. But your personal interaction with the police, get media, act like you never heard anything about bad police. How did you feel about police before all of this stuff hit in the media?
Good. Safe.
In Hammond?
Yeah.
Okay. So what was different than how you know the police to be in Hammond compared to what made you scared out here?
The timing and the fact that I have not seen the police or talked to the police out here.
Okay. How about you, Mara? What made you scared last night when you seen me go up to the police?
I don't really know.
You don't know?
I was just scared.
You were just scared? You think it had anything to do with when you got pulled over before when you was with your aunt?
Kind of.
How'd that make you feel?
Scared.
Okay. What was scary about it?
I don't want to talk about it.
You don't want to talk about it? You don't got to be on the show if you don't want to.
I do, because I don't really want to talk about it.
Okay. Oh, well, you ain't got to. If you don't want to, baby, you ain't got to talk about it. You want to go sit with mommy? It's all up to you. You could be on the show. You can talk about it if you want. You don't have to.
I don't want to.
Okay.
She's just nervous.
You nervous? All right, come on. All right. Just me and a little man. You're coming later. Okay. Me and a little man. So, talk about your experiences with police that made you scared.
When they came to the house, that kind of scared me because they were like,
Hold on. Before we get into that, the narrative that he's about to give to you all, okay, is you all know my past. I'll share a little bit about it. The change that I've been making has been since I've been about 21 years old. I'm 31 years old now. Because of my past, you guys know I got a case right now that I'm still dealing with. And when I was 27 years old, they came to our house. This is what he's about to talk about. So go for it.
Okay, so it was kind of scary because when the police came in, they had guns and.
How did they come? Let's just paint the picture of that night, that whole night, or the morning. It was 5 a.m. So paint the picture.
So, I was sleeping on the couch that night, and I woke up, and my mom and my dad were sitting on the couch, and they were talking, and I'm sitting there, and I'm trying to fall back asleep, and then we just hear this big boom, 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 boom on the door, and my dad, he gets up real fast, and he goes to the door, and he comes back with all these police behind him, and they're putting handcuffs on him and stuff. And I'm just freaking out because, first time. And they were very polite. They let us hug our dad, tell him goodbye. They let my dad change because he was in pajamas still. They let him change. They let him, they gave him a chance to get ready and say goodbye and stuff. So yeah, it just freaked me out a little bit.
That day when they came to my house, it was 5 a.m. and I was up drinking coffee, watching TV. I hear the boom at the door, so I go to the door, I open it up, and this is what they didn't get to see. When I open up the door, I'm like, whoa! I see all these police officers, FBI, all types of stuff. I said, what's going on? And they say, Cash, we got a warrant for your arrest. And I'm thinking like a bench warrant or something. And they're like, I'm like, okay. I'm like, do if I'm gonna have a bond or whatever? They said, nah, man, it's a federal warrant. And my heart just dropped straight up. My heart dropped like to my stomach. My heart dropped to my stomach and I got scared straight up. I had like fear, like all these thoughts started going through my brain. And they're like, Cash, they seen it. They're like, Cash, look, man, we're sorry. We know, that you don't deserve this. But unfortunately, too many people said your name, so that's why we're here. And I was like, okay. I said, so what do we do? They said, would you like to go change and talk to your family? And I'm like, yeah, if that's cool. So they all came in the house. They didn't arrest me right away. They didn't put cuffs on me. They stood there. They put their guns down. They asked me, like, do you got any guns or anything in the house? And I told them, like, man, I got my shotgun. But, other than that, no, there's no drugs or nothing in the house. And they were like, they asked the feds asked, like, do you guys want to search him? I'm like, no, we know him. He's all right. And they let me hug my kids. They let me change. They weren't rude. They weren't disrespectful. They were polite to my family. And, they sympathized. And it was a messed up scene. So then when they put the cuffs on me, my kid was upset. He was upset. And I told him, I'm like, it's going to be okay, And it was crazy, man. How did they act with you personally?
Well, I didn't talk to them one-on-one, but they were nice the whole time.
Do you remember when I got out?
Not really.
Okay. How about other interactions with the police?
Well, my friend, you remember Zach?
Mm-hmm.
My friend Zach, his dad, well, if we was in his yard when he was gone or something, they were type of people to call the cops for little things. So they called the cops a couple times on us for no reason. So those encounters, like this one time I wouldn't get away from the yard. I was on the sidewalk and he told me to get off of it. So I wouldn't do it, of course. And the cops just told me to stay on the other side of the sidewalk and stay away from him for a little bit. So, yeah.
They were cool about it?
Yeah. The cops weren't mean to me at all. Or any of the neighborhood kids.
Okay, after that, what happened with me with all of that stuff, how did you feel about the police after that encounter?
I've never been so afraid of them to the point I would run if I seen them, or I didn't hate the police and never hated them for anything. Of course, I've been mad when I took you away. I was mad, but
right.
Mad at the fact that you were gone, not mad at the fact that the police had to do their job.
Right. Good man. You're good. You're good, dude. me ask you something. What do you feel like could be done? Matter of fact, here, let's go back to the neighborhood. How do your friends feel about police?
You know, my friends, some of them grew up rougher, you know, not with a person like you around to teach them or guide them in the right way. So they would follow, they would follow whatever they seen online or follow what other people would say. So they were probably afraid of the police or didn't like the police,
You feel like I do a good job with you?
Mm-hmm.
When we go to yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
What did you think was going to happen?
I don't know. I had no clue. That's why I was afraid.
But you see me interact with police before, and I was always cool.
In Hammond.
So it was because of a different city. Interesting. What's up, baby?
I'm ready.
You ready? You want to talk now? Come on. Switch your spots. Let her get over here.
I see
Sit right here, Mom.
that. I seen one in the comments. It was asking how did the police treat them when they were pulled over. So if she wants to answer that question.
Sit right here. Okay. This is Samara. She said she's ready. She wants to talk. By the way, I didn't tell her she has to talk or nothing like that. I told her if you want to talk, you could. Yeah, you cover yourself up. You're over there sitting all crazy. Okay. So, Miss Samara, how did you feel when you got pulled over with your aunt?
Scared.
You were scared? What made you feel scared?
Like they put her in handcuffs and all that.
Put her in handcuffs? What'd you think was happening?
I didn't really know. I didn't really think anything.
Were they nice to you?
Mm-hmm.
The cops were nice to you? Were they nice to your aunt?
I don't really know because she wasn't with me at all.
No? Did they take her to jail?
Mm-hmm. I don't really know.
Did you separate from her?
Mm-hmm.
And where'd you go?
I forgot.
But your mom had to come get you? Yeah. Okay. What made you scared last night?
I don't really know.
You don't know? Because remember when we were pulling up, you were like, I'm scared? You don't know why? What do you think now? Would you still be scared now? You would? You think the police are bad?
Just a little bit.
Why?
I don't know.
That's interesting. You ever heard that police are bad?
No.
You ever seen anything that made you think police were bad? You just feel scared or something from them? But you don't have to be. Okay?
Okay.
Police aren't here to hurt nobody. Most of them are really good guys. Like last night, they were really good guys. They actually helped the guy that I went over there and talked to. They were actually helping him. Okay?
Okay.
So you don't got to be scared of the police. Plus, I got your back. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to be scared of nobody. Got me? Okay. Have you ever had any other interactions with the police other than what happened with your aunt and then last night?
I think so.
When?
Oh, when we were driving to your job?
Exactly what I was hitting at. Good girl. That's what I'm talking about. And what happened that day?
We were driving too fast, so we got pulled over.
And what happened? Were you scared?
Just a little bit.
How did that encounter go? What happened with that police officer when he pulled us over?
Nothing.
Nothing, right? He came up, I talked to him, laughed a little bit, think I told a joke. And he was cool. He was like, oh yeah, just you guys are going a little fast. Didn't write a ticket. I don't even think he took a license, did he?
He was really nice.
He was really nice.
He was state police.
State trooper, Indiana. He told us just go ahead, just to write off. And we went. Had a good rest of the day. So thinking back, do you think you need to be scared of the police, really? All right. Pretty normal guys. They just wear a different uniform. Some of them look funny in a uniform. You know what I'm saying? And they got a badge. I think what makes people scared are little kids. You see them with all their stuff that they got. They got a gun, they got a flashlight, and then they got all these little gadgets and the lights, and then it's loud when they pull you over. You see them riding through the streets with the sirens on, and they cutting through traffic. I think that's probably what does it. You know what I'm saying? But really, when they're doing that, they're going to a call. Somebody needs help, or somebody's hurt, or somebody's doing something wrong, so they got to get there. So, sure.
What I think makes a lot of people scared too is that they feel like police have more power than they do.
Is that how you feel?
That's not how I feel. I feel like some people would probably think that. You know? When like
I know,
you know
I
how
shouldn't.
She
Like-
should go back up there. He should go over there.
You want to sit back up here?
but like the fact that I don't know, I feel like people think that police have more power as a human being than they do, you know?
You think that the police have more power than people do?
Some people think that
Why do you think they would think that?
because of their job or something.
Give me an example.
Like a guy that works for a company and then he's like, this is my company, you can't come inside, but the police has a warrant so he could go inside whenever he wants without that man saying he can't.
Did y'all hear that? That was a great point. So you feel like police are sometimes perceived as above the law.
Yeah.
Like when we're driving and they turn their lights on and you think somebody's about to get pulled over, but they go through the red light and then they just turn the lights off and just keep driving regular.
Mm-hmm.
Taking
I like
advantage
that.
of their authority.
Taking advantage of their authority. Yeah. See, good cops don't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, Officer Burgos. You ever met him?
I probably have, but I don't remember.
Okay, let me think of one that you have met.
I don't remember meeting any police.
Yeah, you'd have.
Did you have like an officer in your school or anything?
Yeah, I had a couple.
Do
And
you?
they were very nice.
There you go. There's a couple, but do you remember when we had the cookout back on Aller Street, and I had a bunch of my brothers come over, and one of them was a cop from Gary. He was hanging out talking with you when you came to the lodge with me.
I kind of remember now.
Yeah, just normal dudes. Most of them are just normal dudes. And yesterday, even the cop came up to me and gave me a freaking hug, bro. I've never met him before in my life, and he appreciated the fact that I stopped just to check on him and to check on them to make sure he has everything cool. He appreciated what we're doing with streetlights. What did that make you feel afterward, seeing that how it went? Because you guys were scared at first, right?
Mm-hmm.
How did it make you feel after when I came back and told you guys what happened?
I was relieved and like proud, like I told you I was. Happy. Made me feel a little bit better about the situation with police.
How about you?
Basically the same thing.
Same thing? You guys got to be the change, right? What did I tell you? Why did I do it?
Because you can't just say you're a streetlight and say that you're for change and not do what you're gonna say you want.
So what should you always do?
Be a man of your word.
Be a man of your word, always. You got to practice what you preach, right?
Mhm.
That's how you're going to live? You're going to help people, or you're going to be a problem starter? You're going to give the police a reason to do their job, or you're going to be a good man?
Be a good man.
If you ever get stopped by the police, how should you act?
Cooperative. Respectful.
Respectful. If you were to get stopped by the police right now today, say you were outside playing, and they start questioning you, what's the first thing you tell them?
I don't know.
You don't know?
It depends on the question.
If they start trying
Can I ask if I could come get you first?
Exactly. I just want to call my dad so he could come, and that's what you're always supposed to do. Whether they're good cops, bad cops, always ask for your parent. Always. Not because anything bad. It's just for your own safety. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's for your safety. And most good cops wouldn't even, like I said, they wouldn't stop you or mess with you or try to get you to answer any questions or anything like that without your parent being present, because they know the law. You know? But my whole thing is, I don't ever want you guys to be fearful of the police. I don't ever want you guys to be fearful of the police. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Ever.
What if they would have approached you differently last night?
What do you mean? That's a good question.
When you were walking up to them, what if they would have, let's just say we didn't know the situation that was happening between the guy that was getting pulled over and the police, and maybe they did have to call back up because he was being crazy or out of his body or whatever. And then they see you walking up. It's 12:30 at night.
Mm-hmm.
And what if they were intimidated by you because you don't know what could have happened before we got there. You don't know what was happening when we pulled up. We just pulled up and seen everything happening. How would you have felt if you're unarmed and they would have came at, maybe pulled guns or acted a different way? Or
I was prepared for that. When I went walking up, if you notice, I put my hands like on my hips. I was gonna reach in my pocket to grab my phone, and I'm like, no. And I just put my hands right there. I was not expected. I was prepared for them to be cautious and be like on high alert, because it's late, it's dark. This dude just did a U-turn to come back around, gets out of his car. Of course, I was ready. That's why I was looking. I wanted to make it non-confrontational. So I was expecting them to, maybe draw their gun and be like, hey, yo, well, what are you doing? And I'm like, hey, I apologize. I'm not trying to interrupt. My name is Cash. The same way I went up to them is exactly how I would have responded had that had happened. You know what I'm saying? And I was ready for it, but I had faith. I had faith in them. From what I've been doing and the officers that I have been speaking with, I have faith, man, that not all cops are like that, And you can get a vibe from somebody off of their demeanor.
Absolutely.
Off of their demeanor. And my demeanor, the vibe that I was trying to kick off was non-confrontational. You know what I mean? Non-confrontational. I'm not here to cause any problems. I'm just trying to help. Make sure everything is going okay on both sides. And some people will be like, well, who are you to? It takes one. It just starts with one. Anybody can do it. Any one of us can walk up and help, just to make awareness. And right there, you cause accountability on both. You know what I'm saying? You cause the police to be accountable, and you cause that person to be accountable, because you're going to stand for what's real, what's right. And yeah, I mean, they did good. They did really good. They didn't respond, like they didn't feel threatened at all when I came walking up, which also broke a barrier, because they seen a black guy walking up and didn't automatically assume here comes a criminal. They received me well, like I was just a regular person before they knew it was me. You know what I'm saying?
Now, our town doesn't have a lot of police brutality.
Right.
If we would have been in like Chicago or a different city, do you think the police would have?
It definitely would have reacted differently. I think, personally. I do.
It would have been more like on high alert.
They would have told me to mind my business, to get out of here, or I'm going to go to jail too. Maybe, depending on the cop. Like if it would have been D. Wise is a Chicago police officer now. If it would have been him, I believe that he would have been like well receiving of anybody, because he's just a cool guy. He's a really nice guy. He was a music producer, still is. And he just happened to become a police officer because he wanted to combat the injustices, because he knew how the police were out there. So he said, instead of complaining about it, I'm going to try to change it. And he became a cop. And He's been a very great police officer out in Chicago, and I appreciate you. D Wise, if you're listening right now, brother, I appreciate you. You know, would you want to be a cop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you want to be a cop?
To help the change.
To help the change. What would you do differently? How would you affect that change?
I would look at every single person equally.
Say that again. Look over at the camera and say that.
I would look at everybody equally.
Out of the mouths of babes. How about you? What would you do? If you was a cop, how would you show people?
I don't really know.
Would you want to be a cop?
Kind of not.
I feel you. Kate, if you had a message for the police right now, if police officers are watching, which I'm sure there is some police officers on here watching right now, I want you to look at the camera and say what you would want to say to them.
For every cop that respects the equality, is that a word?
Say it again.
Equality or
Equality
of every person, thank you. Thank you for making the world a better place.
How about you? You got a message for anybody? No? Okay. I'm going to head you back that way, okay? Say bye to everybody.
Bye.
Tell them have a great day.
Have a great day.
She's adorable, ain't she? I'm telling you. At this age, she could still be a Gerber baby. I'm just saying. Come on.
No.
Come on. Okay.
Come on.
Erica. Talk to me. Give me some questions. Because you was just, before we got on here, we were talking, me and her. And yeah, it was dope. She's got a brilliant mind. She just doesn't like to be in the spotlight.
As far as what?
With the police. How did you feel? Let me ask you that. Last night, how did you feel when I said, babe, turn around?
I was okay with turning around, and I've been in the area for a while. I mean, since I was young, my family grew up here or whatever. So I'm not necessarily like scared. I'm not the type of person to be scared of the police, but
Let's see.
I was comfortable with turning around. I was comfortable with watching at a distance, but it did make me nervous when you got out of the car. Not even so much when you got out of the car, but when you walked away and I couldn't see you anymore. I seen kind of like your shadow in the lights, and then at that point it was kind of like, what could happen? You don't know what could happen. And it's not because you don't trust the police, but you don't, like I said, you don't know what was happening before we got there.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody could have ran out of the car and, been on the run, or you have no idea what was going on before we got there.
Right. How'd you feel when I got back?
Well, I seen the police officer. Like, there was a tree there, so you were kind of like past the tree a little bit, so I didn't see you, but I seen him. He must have been like in front of the car.
Mm-hmm.
And his body language let me know that you were not like in a bad situation.
Right.
We had the windows down. You guys weren't yelling. There was no, there wasn't any commotion. I wasn't so much worried. When we drove away, I think is what made the biggest difference, because when we were driving past the first time, the guy was at the back of his car with his hands on his car, and there was 4 or 5 police cars.
Mm-hmm.
He looked a little bit nervous, maybe, or scared, or you don't know what he could have been going through.
Right.
But by the time we sat there after you got back in the car and we pulled off, he was kind of just like back by his driver door. His hands were in front of him. He looked a little more calm.
Like relieved.
Yeah. Kind of like.
I was amped up, man.
Yeah.
I was super hyper. Straight up. When I got back in the car, the first thing I said was, we're making change. Isn't it?
Yeah.
I was overjoyed because, you know, it's one thing when you get out there and you try to do something, you know, and you're doing it, and it's good that you're doing it, but to see what you're trying to make happen, the changes that you're trying to make, to see them in effect, that's a whole different feeling entirely. Straight up. To hear my son tell me he was proud of me. To have my woman look at me and be like, you're doing a good job. You're doing a good job, babe. I'm proud of you. That's amazing to me. That is amazing to me. I encourage every one of you to have the talks with your children. Find out why they feel the way that they feel about the police. Why are they scared of the police if they are?
I think the police should take an opportunity to get to know their communities a little bit more.
I agree.
Because if they weren't, like, you know, people who are police officers that you went to school with or that you've done music with or whatever, and, you know, the kids know police officers from school, whether they're resource officers or whatever, and when they're familiar with them, they're not as intimidated. But when they come off as aggressive or just very forward, and we understand they're there to do their job, but they don't have to be, you know, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but I think that part scares the kids more than anything, because they don't know them. They're strangers. We teach them don't talk to strangers.
Mm-hmm.
Police and, you know, EMTs and things, yeah, they're supposed to be able to protect them, but if they don't know them,
right,
the only thing that separates them is a uniform.
You're right.
And when they see the uniform, it's because they've done something wrong sometimes.
They equate that.
Right.
We only see the police in moments of turmoil. When something's going bad, that's when you see the police. That is a good point. That is a very good point.
They're not scared of firefighters.
Then when you said that the police should take an opportunity to get to know their community,
Mm-hmm.
that's very smart, because certain people have certain limits. So you can say something to a certain police officer and make that officer look at you as a different person. So if there's a really nice officer, he might be a little nicer to you. And if there's a very, very forward officer, he might be a little bit more strict than the nice officer, you know? So
this is great, by the way. Brilliant woman, awesome son. This is nice. The police in our old community where we stayed, well, you guys still be over there. They do. How many times have you seen me standing out front and the police come by and they stop and talk to me?
can't count.
A lot.
A lot of times.
A whole lot. So I agree. The police do need to have a bigger presence in the community, as well as trying to get to know the community. But also, citizens, we should take the initiative too. When they're driving down the street, to hey, stop them and talk with them. Dialogue with the police. Introduce them to your kids. I have multiple times. That's my light-skinned twin. That's what I call him. That's my light-skinned twin. And they got to know him because of who his father is. And they look at him and they see me. A couple of them have. They drove down the block. Man, this dude looks just like you, bro. I hope he don't act like you when he was little, you know. But yeah, there's a lot of different things that can be done. A lot. We need to, in Lake Station, we're going to start at the community day. And yeah, it's going to be just that. Police are going to come out and we're going to communicate and introduce each other. Police to civilian, you know. Community day. Get to know each other in the community, not just cops and civilians, but people, the neighbors. Get to know each other. You don't even know how many police you have that are your neighbors. They live in the community, but you don't know, you know. There's a lot that we could do. This discussion is important. It needs to be had. It needs to be had. Find out why. Police officers, find out why your community fears you. And maybe not only, like Erica said, because that's a great point. People associate the police with something bad. You only see them when something bad happens. Why not have the police just come out for something good? A graduation, a kid graduates, come down the block, hey man, congratulations. A kid that you watched grow up that maybe had a couple trouble times, or a basketball game, you know, birthday party, anything. When you see somebody having a birthday party, stop and beep the horn, you know what I'm saying? And happy birthday. Exactly. Put the sirens on. Happy birthday. birthday and scream. You know, there's a whole bunch of things that we can do to break that barrier and bridge the gap. And that's what we have to do. We have to stop making our kids fear the police, and we have to make the police want to not be feared. Some police get a kick out of it. Some police want to be feared. And if you're one of those police, then you have the wrong idea of your job. You know, you're supposed to be someone that protects and serves. Is Victor on here right now? Where's Victor? I'm gonna see if Victor's on here. Victor, I'm gonna invite you on the show, man. If you're watching, he's a police officer. Let's see if we can get him on.
He just commented.
I'm about to invite him.
Can they still hear you?
Yeah, they can hear me.
When you were a kid, did you think of the police any different than you did as you got older and went through your experiences, like as a teenager?
Well, thankful for me, I had Officer Burgos growing up.
Like
Elementary school. I had Officer Burgos and the police around my neighborhood. I always seen the police in my neighborhood because I lived in a war zone. So they were always cool to me. They were always nice to me because I was a kid. I was literally a kid out there with them. And they would tell me to, you know, get out of here, dude. You don't need to be out here with these guys. These are bad guys. You know, and I didn't hear that because I'm getting told by these other guys, man, forget the police, bro. Don't trust the police and don't talk to the police and all this. But then Officer Burgos in first and second and third grade impacted my life greatly. Officer Burgos impacted my life and cared about me as a kid. He gave me kind words and told me, man, Cash, you got a calling on your life, man. You're going to be something one day. You know? He's like, just keep doing the right thing. Stay away from drugs and all those things. And it didn't stop there. As I got into middle school, the two officers that were always in my school were Officer Jajaka and Officer Ray. Two of the coolest dudes in the world. I would be playing at recess. I see you, brother. I'm going to bring you on. I'll be at recess one time, and his mother and Savannah were all out there on recess at sixth grade. And Officer Jajaka, I believe, gave me his handcuffs, and I chased Savannah down. And then she'll tell you the story. I tried to arrest her with the handcuffs on recess, and they were cracking up. They got a kick out of it. It was hilarious to them, and we all really liked them. They were good officers, and they were just nice. They gave us a good view of police. Like, they're not all business. You know what I'm saying? They're not all bad. It was dope. So I always had good police in my life. You know, I really never had a police officer want to like do anything bad to me. You know, there was a couple of them that I got into it with when they came into my home because one was disrespectful. There was one cop that was just disrespectful and called, the woman I was with at the time a hood rat and said all these things just because we lived in the hood.
What about depending on the people you were with?
That too.
They would treat you different if you were with different types of people.
Yeah. And Hammond, they would just tell me like, bro, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're going to get yourself in trouble. You know what I'm saying? They never were jerks to me in the hood. They were always like more shocked that I was out there. They were like, dude, you're smarter than this, bro. You do not belong with these dudes. You're smarter than this. They always looked at me differently, which is what it molded a lot of the things that I feel today. So we're going to go ahead and bring on Victor right now. What's going on, brother?
What's up, bro? How you doing?
Can hear you.
Can you hear me? Let's see. You able to hear me?
Can't hear you.
I don't know what's going on.
Oh, let me drop you out and bring you back. I'll
You
tell you
good?
something.
Nothing?
Nothing. It's okay. Look, here's what we're going to do. Be ready, man. Are you going to be free tomorrow?
Tomorrow night.
I have to message you. I can't hear anything.
Why is it doing that?
It's only on his. Hey, Victor, don't trip, man. I'm going to have you on. I'm going to get you on here tomorrow, man. We're going to end up wrapping this one up. I just wanted you to have a final thought, man, and talk to you and interact. But we'll do that tomorrow. All right. Today, we're going to end this out with, first off, unite, don't fight. You got to be the change. We got to break the barriers. We got to bridge the gaps. We got to be street lights. Are you a street light?
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean to you to be a street light?
Gotta help people change for the better.
And
Help the community change.
how do you do that? By being what?
Positive.
Mm.
Equal.
How do you treat people?
Just like I would treat one of my friends. With respect.
Okay. Caden, why are you so good? Why are you so positive? Honestly, this is a real question because you really are. You're a really positive kid and you're very intelligent for your age. What makes you wake up every morning and be Caden?
I don't know. I just want to see people happy. I don't like to see people sad because their skin color is black, you know?
That's another thing we're going to get into. I think I'm going to have you on the show more because they're saying I need to let you co-host.
Mm.
Oh, Victor's back. Hold on.
Let me see.
You there?
Hey,
Can't hear you, brother.
Can you hear me now?
Is it us?
No, it's on his. Tomorrow, Victor.
All right.
Oh, they can hear you.
Tomorrow.
I'm talking to us.
Why can't I hear
Is
him?
your mic turned on with like however the speakers gotta go and do all
The host says.
There we go. I can hear you now. That was
All
me.
right, there you go, bro.
Told you.
All right. So,
You cut my mic
would
off,
you
man.
listen to the whole show?
No, I just got home, man. I'm just getting off a little bit. I seen you on.
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man.
This is my son, Caden.
What's up, buddy?
What's up?
He's a police officer from Missouri, right?
New Jersey.
New Jersey. Okay, New Jersey.
Yeah.
So let me ask you something, man. How do you feel like, or what do you do if you do? How do you feel that police can be more involved in the community as to shed a better light on police and to get people to understand that they're not out trying to kill people?
Well, you have community policing. What you got to do is it's got to be, and you got to go out there and you got to talk to the kids. You got to talk to the people in the community. You got to get to know your community. That's one of my biggest things where I work at. I get involved a lot with the community. When I get a chance, I got a bunch of pictures and stuff like that. I'll message you and show you a bunch of stuff that I do. So it's you got to get involved, man. That's where it comes down to. You get involved, you get people and they get to know you, and they'll feel more comfortable to come to you. And in cases that if something happens within the neighborhood or apartment complex, anything, at least they'll feel comfortable enough to come to you. I built that type of reputation in my place, in my department, and where I work at. I have a lot of people that come to me. They give me a lot of insight on what's going on, and they're not afraid to come and talk. I even give my personal number out sometimes to some of the people, and they'll call me up directly and say, "Hey, this is what's going on," or "Hey, I got a situation. Can you help me out?" So you got to get involved.
How's the crime rate over there?
What's that?
How is the crime over there? Like, do you guys got gangs? Is there what's it like in your area?
My area is not too bad. You have other areas like major cities: Atlantic City, Trenton, Camden, Newark, Jersey City. Those are a lot of places that the crime is there. But again, it comes down to the community policing, man. You got to go out there and you just got to communicate with the public, man. That's what it comes down to.
I heard that.
They usually they have
a question on here right now, Victor. There's a question. I'm gonna put it up there. It says, "Do you have bad cops on your force? If so, how do you hold them accountable?"
Some things I just can't talk about because I don't put myself in a situation. I don't have bad cops in my department. But guys do got to get held accountable if you see something, in my place, we have a good camaraderie with our guys. So every place is different. I can't speak on other departments. I can't speak on other people's actions.
Right.
I just know from my point of view, from my perspective, we don't have bad guys in our department. We're not a major department, so we have a good communication skills with each other. And when you see something, you have to say something, because you put yourself in a situation, and you don't want to get yourself jammed up.
Right, you're definitely right. So if you did, let me ask you this. If you did, I think I already know the answer to it just from speaking to you before. Your kind of character, you're a good dude, I think. If you did see somebody on your force, right, your partner, say you had a partner and he did something foul that wasn't right, or would you report him for it?
You have to address it, man. You have to address it. You have to, because here's the problem. You just got it's your morale. You got to have that morale. You have to have the maturity. You have to say something, pretty much.
How would a cop watching, like, if somebody wanted to say they got the issue, because there's cops that watch my show. If a cop was to, like a rookie, he's out there and he sees something that's bad and he doesn't agree with how would he go about reporting it?
You got to go to your supervisor. You got to report it. But that's the difference between the training. It comes down to training. You got to have guys out there that's going to train the right, do the right thing and train the right guys. I can't. The problem is that you have the public out there. It sees us differently, man. They don't know us. We don't know the people, so we're not going to sit there and judge somebody. Right away. You can't just go out there and start judging people. You got to go out there and do your job, and you got to do the right thing.
Definitely right.
That's me. It should be everybody, but that's coming from me, and that's how I work. I've been doing this for 17 years, so it's.
Oh, bro, I appreciate you, man. For real, I told you that last time, but thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, bro, for being a good cop, for being
absolutely.
Your life on the line, man, for your job and for your community. I appreciate you.
Now, what they have every year is National Night Out. It's called National Night Out in August. They usually have that every year. I don't know if they're going to conduct that this year because of everything that's going on with the virus and stuff. Usually in August every year they have it called National Night Out, and that's when the police departments come out. They go to your local park or something like that, and they put something up and have all the community come out. It all depends on certain those departments that do that. So I know they do that nationwide. It's been going on for a long time now, though.
Okay. Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
You got any questions for him, Kaden?
No.
No? You want to say anything to him?
Thank you.
Thank you. Don't be scared of me.
Victor, bro, it's always good to talk to you, man. You got anything that you want to say, a message that you want to share with the people that's watching right now?
Talk to us. Don't be afraid to talk. Get to know us. If departments suggest ride-alongs, do a ride-along. That's how you're going to get to know what we hear on our side. People always are looking at what's going on at the moment, but you don't know what's going on before what happens. Do ride-alongs. Exactly. There's departments out there that do ride-alongs. You sign a piece of paper and stuff. You come out, you sit in the car, you drive around, you hear the calls that come out. So it's not like they're going out and doing stuff. They're answering calls. So it's a good idea for people to understand what we're going through too, and what we hear on our side.
Yeah, definitely, bro. You're amazing. Hey, I want you to be a regular panelist, bro. I want you to be like on the show. So if you're interested in doing that, I know you're busy. I know you got a job. I already know. But if you could, just let me know when you're free, man. I usually go on between like 7 and 8 o'clock. That's my times that I usually go on. If we maybe work something around that, maybe in the morning, do a morning show or something, let me know how to work for you. But yeah, because being a police officer, your voice is needed,
Yeah. I can only say certain things, I can't go too far into details,
No, you know what? I don't even want it for that. I just want your narrative, like your perspective on things. When people, got questions and about certain things, I know you can't get into too much because of your job, and that's okay. I totally understand. But your perspective is needed because it's from the other end of the spectrum. You know what I'm saying? So something to think about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Bring me on, man. And everybody out there, again, just, communicate.
Definitely. Victor, you have a good night, my brother, and stay safe out there, okay?
All right, man. You too. Take care.
All right, brother.
All right.
Peace. That dude's awesome. I really like Victor. Met him on here. Good dude. One of the first officers that actually wanted to come out and speak. I'm waiting for Officer Burgos to come on here and speak. But, gotta wait for him. Yeah, man. You guys, I hope that this was a little educational for you. I hope that maybe you gained something from this, took something from this, and that it would inspire you to have the conversations with your children. You know what I'm saying? They're pretty smart. Kids are smart, and they will amaze you if you listen. They will amaze you. Just because they're kids don't mean they ain't got a brain and they don't think. My little dude's sharp. He's sharp, and his feelings matter to me. His thoughts matter to me. So that being said, anything you want to leave the people with?
Not really.
Listen to your kids? No, nothing. My dad's the greatest dad in the entire universe. My dad is the greatest dad ever. All right, guys. That's all I got for you tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. All right. Until next time, I love you guys. Unite, don't fight. Be a street fight. Bridge them gaps. Break them barriers. That's what we're doing. We're taking this thing all the way. Okay? Love you. Have a great night. Peace out.